Hello guys, thank you very much for joining in. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students too who are appearing for CF and FRM exams to clear them in the first attempt. And today I'm back with one of the videos with my student where basically she has been able to clear the exam, FRM Level 1 exam in her first attempt, and that too in her college. Okay, and that exam was in November 2021. And the purpose of creating these videos is basically to put awareness in front of people who are preparing on their own through video lectures and all, so that they can get some guidance in terms of how other people are preparing and how other people are able to clear the exam. Okay, so we have with us today Roshni. So, Roshni, first of all, welcome and thank you very much for giving us your time. And primarily, before we start the conversation, is it possible if you can give a brief to the audience in terms of when you started the preparation for FRM, what were you doing?
Okay, thank you so for inviting me. And so before the exam, I was basically in my first year of BFM, which is Bachelor in Financial Markets, and I'm from NM College. So I was just doing that. I wasn't doing any other professional course or any other certification course.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was in my first year of the course. It's a 3-year course, basically.
Right. So why did you decide to go for FRM? Any particular reason?
Yeah, so basically the course that we do is affiliated with Mumbai University, and usually people do it along with CA or CFA in their third year. But
Mhm.
then I didn't want to wait till my third year for something, and I didn't want to do CA. So I was like, I would rather do FRM because it's something I have an interest in.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's why I decided, because my course wasn't very heavy on material, and like
The
the
BFM
subject
course, the
was,
BFM course
yeah,
was
the
not heavy enough.
BFM course.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then when you did the research for FRM, you must have seen some videos and all of it, right? The basics of it. You must have also seen the book. So when you started, which book you thought will create a problem for you, or which book is something which is connected to your studies? Some some points on that.
So I thought I would be very comfortable with the third book, which I actually was, because I already knew certain terms and everything because I was studying financial markets.
Mhm.
But the fourth book I thought would be difficult because it was very calculative. Like there was a lot of calculations and everything regarding that, and there were models and stuff that I had not really looked at before. So that I thought would be challenging.
Okay, okay. And did you when you started, was there anything in your mind that okay, you're still in your first year and you're going for this exam, which is a global exam, competitive exam. So any fear or anything in your mind at the start?
Not as such
Okay.
particularly. I was just that, like, let's start, let's see how it's going, because I still had time to think about whether I wanted to actually give the exam in August, like, because till the registration date, because I started pretty early in May.
Hmm.
So I was still getting used to it, and I was like, it's okay. Like, if I don't get it, like, I won't register for the exam,
Right,
basically.
right, right. So now, when you started, so you started in May for the November exam. How many hours you were giving at the start?
So in the beginning, I used to watch the videos, like whatever, 2, 3 hours of videos, and we used to like read the books. So not more than 3 or 4 hours a day, I would say.
Okay. And were you facing any problem that okay, these concepts are new, so you have to go through the content again, something like that?
Yeah, so sometimes when I used to watch the videos, I used to feel like, oh, I'm not getting this. So at that time only, I used to like just rewind and like watch it again. And then if I still wouldn't get it, I would read the book and then get back to the video
Okay.
and
And
something like that.
simultaneously, you were also attending the lectures, right?
Yes,
That
yeah,
was separately going on primarily. Okay.
yeah.
And so primarily you started with which the Excel that I've given you, or you are managing your own way?
No, so I was on track with the Excel, but I was a little faster than the Excel sheet because
Okay.
I think you had given around 4 chapters a week, and I used
Three
to do
chapters,
around
yes.
six because, yeah, 3 to 4 chapters. So I used to do around 5 to 6 because you told me that by August we have to finish. So I used to go
Hmm.
little more fast. Other
Right,
than
right.
that,
Yeah.
the same, like
Yes, yes.
the
Primarily, the
same
entire
distance.
idea over there was before you register and go for the exam, you have seen the content and you know what is this exam. So you are in a better shape in terms of taking that decision, because the registration fees is very big, right? So now when you're managing that flow, and every day around 3 to 4 hours, and because I feel that you were needing extra time because you had no work experience. You're still in the
Yeah.
first year, so definitely you would be going very slow in your preparation at the start, right? Now, uh, during from May, okay, when did you completed your first reading? The date? Any idea on that date or something?
So I think I completed it before the end of August for sure. Like I used to go together only. Like I used to watch the videos, read, watch the videos, read.
Hmm.
So before 31st August, like I think I registered on the 27th. So 2, 3 days before that I was done like
Okay,
reading.
so
So 20 by
you did
20.
late registration.
No, wait.
Then it
I
is
think
July,
yeah, no.
July
So yeah,
30th.
that July. So
Okay,
25th of July, I think.
right. Okay, okay. And then once you completed your reading, you started with the solving of the question bank. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, I started with this one.
And so when you were revising, what was your approach? Were you going doing the revision for one chapter and then solving, or you were taking 2, 3 chapters together and then solving? What was the approach?
So in the start, I started with one chapter solving, but that was a little time consuming, I would say. So towards the end, when I had a lot of chapters left, I used to just do a chunk of chapters. Like there are a few chapters which go together, like the
Hmm.
futures part, the options part. So I used to just take that whole chunk and then give the entire like question bank for that, like 4, 5 chapters together.
Okay. And primarily, so when did you completed your question bank, chapter wise question bank?
Oh, so the thing is that I didn't actually complete the entire question bank because I think I fell unwell in the middle when I was supposed to finish it. So I didn't finish it as such, but I was supposed to finish it by the end of October.
Okay. So basically from 1st of August, so entire August, September, and then October also, because you were unwell in between. So ideally, you had planned at what? You had planned by end of September. That was the idea.
So actually, I didn't start right after like I finished my question back because I was chilling, I was taking a break and everything. So
Okay.
yeah, so I started like mid-August and I was like thinking about like start of October, mid-October, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that like didn't happen. So I think I finished it towards the end of October.
Okay. Okay. Now, so from your May till the October end, any major challenges that you faced during the preparation?
Yeah, so there were certain concepts which I used to like understand, but then when I used to sit to solve the question back, they were very difficult for me.
Mm.
So, like when we talk about bond pricing and swaps and everything, they used to be really difficult because I don't have any experience regarding that, and I've never
Huh.
really heard of those
Uh-huh.
things also. So when I used to solve the question bank, I used to like be like, oh, what is happening? And I'm not understanding. And also because I hadn't given any like any professional courses, I used to feel a little disheartened when I used to get like 50% marks, 60% marks. To be
Okay.
like, what is happening? Because I've always gotten a lot of marks in my school and college and everything.
Right. So
So that was a little
one point to add over here is that primarily when we create the question bank also, it is from the perspective that whatever is there in the book, you will not get that directly, because exam is not going to test you. And all of these competitive exam, the skill is primarily in picking up the question, which question you will tackle, because the exam is structured in such a way that you would ideally not be able to complete every 100 question with 100% surety, because they will add few difficult questions to derail you in your process of solving, to question your own ability and to frustrate you and all of it. So that's the reason, one of the reason that I think so you face that issue. But think that actually helped you in your preparation for the
yeah.
exam. And one more point just for the audience, that if you're getting low score in the uh, question bank solving and all, it doesn't mean that you're going to fail. Okay, it is basically how much fast you're coming back and reading the content and solving the question bank again, making yourself strong. Now, coming back to the question bank piece, and did you solve the sectional test? Did you solve the important concept quizzes that was provided? Did you get time for that?
Yes. So yeah, so actually I was left with like 4 or 5 chapters by the end of it.
Mhm.
So instead of actually finishing those chapters, I focused more on the important concepts quiz and the sectional quiz, because I was like, okay, I can come back to this whenever I want. Right now I should be on track, like not focus on the backlog. So
Hmm.
like that I did. And then for the mocks, like I started studying in the end
Okay.
of October.
Okay. And how many mocks did you give?
I gave 5 proper mocks, and after that, I used to just open a question paper and solve a few sums, like
Okay. Okay.
not like a lot, like not a full mock.
Right. And when you gave the sectional test, you revise the entire book and then you give the sectional test. Is it correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
And mock papers, what was the gap in between two mocks?
So the first mock I had studied properly. I took like a 4 5 day this thing. And then between the first and the second mock, I used to only take 1 or 2 days just to review the questions that were wrong
Hmm.
and the questions that I wasn't sure or have guessed about. Like, I used to just review those and then give the second mock. So I used to not go back to the book
Okay.
only for the questions which I didn't know or were difficult to me. I used to go back to the book.
Okay. And primarily, did you see any improvement when you were going through the mock papers in terms of your solving, in terms of your accuracy?
Yeah, so the first 3 mocks I saw like a proper good improvement, like a good improvement. But then after the third mock, it wasn't much. Like my score used to remain constant after the third mock.
And what was that range of score?
I used to score 60 marks, like not even
Okay.
one or more less.
Okay. On an average, 60. Okay. Now, and you were giving these
60.
exam properly for 4 hours in an exam
Yes,
environment. Okay. Okay.
yes.
Okay. One more point for all these audience, that even if you're getting around 60, which because a lot of people have an expectation that I should get 70 in the mock papers, that is not true. Even at a 60, you can clear the exam. Okay. So coming back to this part now, when you went for the exam on the day of the exam, what happened in the first hour of the exam?
So basically, the first are like the first few questions were pretty easy, I would say.
Mhm.
But then once I reached like through the mid, not even middle, like the first half of the paper itself, um, there were a series of questions which I
Mhm.
wouldn't get,
Okay.
and that was actually a little difficult because like what I used to do is whenever I didn't get a question, I should just note it down and then move on to the next question.
Right.
So when I did that, like there was like a whole series on my paper written like 23, 24, 25, which I didn't get, and there were like 4 5 questions which were very difficult one after the other. So I think
Okay.
that was the only issue. And I think other than that, like I just noted down all the questions and then revisited them at the end because
Mhm.
I felt like it was like it's better to do whatever I know first
Right.
and then get to the others later.
Okay.
And there were around like 20 30 questions which I didn't get.
Okay. Which you felt that, okay, this is very difficult. 20, 30.
Yeah.
And rest 70 were okay when you were able to solve it with good accuracy, or some
Yes.
you knew what was that concept.
Yeah, so the thing was that art paper was very theoretical. So it was always between two options. Like the
Hmm.
other two, you knew for sure that they were not right,
Right.
but it was between the two options. But the practical part was pretty easy. So I was sure about the practical, but theory was a little questionable. But I still went for the most, like the closest option.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Now, when we talk about the entire paper, okay, so 70 questions you are almost good with. What was your approach for those 30 questions? So you marked, and what did you do at the end for those 30 questions?
If it was a practical solving question, then the closest answer, of course. But if it wasn't, then it was always that two options you could eliminate, like just by the process of elimination you could remove two options,
Okay.
and then between the other two, like whatever is the closest, what I think is the closest, I would go for.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So basically, the last 30 questions created slight problem for you. Now, when you closed, you
Yeah.
submitted your exam, and you came out, what was there in your mind?
So I was like, okay, now it's done, and I've given my best, so I was like, now it's done.
And I will chill.
Yeah, I will just.
Okay. And so primarily when the result came out, you cleared. And what was the quartile that you got?
So my quartiles were 1, 2, 2, 2,
Okay.
and and like this year, like the results, like they've declared it, then it wasn't there, and then they
Haha.
declared it again. So there was a lot of nervousness, but like I was in the between. Like I didn't know if I was for sure gonna pass or for sure gonna fail or something like that. But I was in the middle, so I was very nervous about my result.
Okay.
But fortunately, I passed, so I'm happy.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, when this news came out, what was the reaction of people around you, especially your friends or college people or college teachers and all?
So teachers, like they don't really pay much attention to our thing, but like I think two of my friends had also given. They both also passed, and like it was very like this thing, and not a lot of people in my college are doing. Only like 3, 4 people in the batch.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that's it. Like not much. Like my friends
Oh,
were, so some of my friends were like, oh, should we also give like FRM and stuff like that? So I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like it's a good thing to give and everything.
okay. Okay.
So
Wonderful.
that's
Wonderful. Wonderful. And thank you very much. I mean, this entire discussion, and especially, it's very commendable that you have been able to clear the exam in college itself. And that will definitely give you a lot of edge when you move out of college and start looking out for work. Because a lot of people, when they're working, they are going for this exam primarily because they were never had the information before. So now this should help you to trigger to do a lot of other certifications or other learnings in your career, and your journey definitely will help the other guys who are working, who are in college, to go for this exam and get be motivated at least. Because even so, you took time, right? So you took from May till this part, and you
yes,
were able to prepare. And like you mentioned, you had no background. You have no background for statistics. You have no background for any competitive exam, and still you have been able to clear the exam in a proper way because you were preparing as a student. And that is one very
yeah,
important feature I feel, that a lot of working professionals, they don't prepare as a student for these kind of exams. So that is a slight uh, different part. But best of luck and congratulations for your success. And I'm sure this video will help and motivate all the other students who are going to watch this video in the future to go for the exam with full effort. Thank you very much, Roshni. Thank you.
thank you so